Hey there, it's Jody Taylor. Whether you're a first-time listener or it ain't your first rodeo, welcome to Jody Tried It. This tiny podcast is about my journey of purchasing and trying many professional and personal development tools and resources, such as courses, memberships, subscriptions, templates, and apps. I'll share my honest review, key takeaways, and things you might want to consider to help you make informed decisions about your personal and professional development. Now, time for a quick affiliate disclosure. Some of the links mentioned on Jody Tried It, either on the show or in the show notes, are affiliate links, and at no additional cost to you, I will earn a commission if you click through and make a purchase. It's a simple way to support the Jody Tried It podcast, and I only recommend products and services that I genuinely love or believe might be helpful to you. Your trust is important to me. Thank you so much, and without further ado, let's hop on into it. Okay, I have some really good resources for you on today's podcast episode. It'll all make sense in a second. Let's hop on into it. Number one is time sensitive. On August 9th, 2024, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, is it PDT? Pacific Daylight Time? It's Pacific time. I'll have the proper links in the show notes. On August 9th, 2024, 9 a.m. PDT, hosted live on Zoom. There's going to be a virtual workshop hosted by Kimberly Kuniko of Lacelit and Kristina Yu of Cherry Human Studios. I'm going to read this straight from their invite because I want you to hear it the way they meant it to be heard. So for fellow creative small business owners interested in vending, craft shows, conventions, artist alleys, and pop-ups, whether you're new to shows or have been vending for a while, we've pooled together our collective experience vending at a variety of events to curate a comprehensive workshop that covers all the things we wish we'd known sooner to make vending easier and more successful. So in sum, this is a way to level up your art vendor game, practical tips and creative tools for selling your art in person. This should be a cozy, energizing workshop centered on making the most of vending in-person events. And then the link will be in the show notes. They have a full description of what you can expect and what this event will cover and what your admission includes. The early bird price before July 31st, remember I said this was time sensitive, or I hope I did, is $75. The regular price will be $100. And it also says 2 sliding scale seats available. And there's a bit of a discount. Bring a friend for a 10% off both tickets and get free access to a bonus office hours session in September. All of the details will be in the show notes. I am on Kristina Yu's email list, so I got this invite today and I immediately knew I wanted to share it with Jody Tried It listeners. I'm not an affiliate. I am a huge fan of Kristina Yu. I've also attended some online events that Kimberly Kuniko hosted in the past, and I think both events that I attended were around the holiday. She usually does like an online holiday coloring event. Kristina Yu, I mentioned in another podcast episode, which I believe had already aired. I've worked with her in maybe that podcast episode didn't air yet, but I've worked with her. She designed my Fitness is a Lifetime Journey sticker. I'll put a link in the show notes so you can take a look at it. I'll also put her link in the show notes so you can take a look at her art and her vibe and hopefully join her newsletter. I subscribed to her newsletter probably 2 or 3 years ago now. It's been a while, and I really am a fan of her work and her art. I own her 2024 calendar. I also own the 2023 calendar. The mouse pad that I'm using right now, designed by Kristina Yu, her Cherry Human Studios. I opened my mail today. I had stickers from her. This month the theme is arcade. I have pins, gift wrap, you name it. I love her work. So I was super excited to see this and share it, because if you are an artist and you are thinking about selling in person, I haven't seen her art show, not her art show. Well, that's true. I haven't seen her art shows or her displays or vendor setup in person yet. I've seen the invites. It's only because I don't happen to be in the same city as her when she's doing these things. But I think my feeling is that she's someone you could definitely definitely learn from. In working with her, you know how they say never meet your heroes? Not true with Kristina Yu. Not true with Kristina Yu. I've been an online fan for her, of hers for so long, and when I was looking to design my sticker, she was like the first person I thought of, and I couldn't believe that I ultimately got to work with her. I'm still pinching myself. Okay, so that was our time sensitive bit. Next up, grants for creators. This is a newsletter that I serendipitously came across on Substack. I pay for the subscription. I now have the annual subscription. It's exactly what it sounds like, which blows my mind. The because I know, like, oh, I want to monetize this, or I want to make money selling that digital product. But a grant is something that did not occur to me until I came across this newsletter, this site on Substack. And the thing that attracted me was someone reposted, if I'm not mistaken, it's Michelle from Creatives Getting Paid, also on Substack. I think she reposted the following post that said, grants for podcasters and audio creators. What? Listen, I signed up. I'm not an affiliate or anything. I wonder how this works. I know they have something where you can get, like, because I have a paid subscription, if I refer folks, maybe I'll get like a month or two off, but I don't know if that works outside of Substack. I want to refer them. I love this site. Yes, you can find grants by Googling them. Let me pause. What is a grant? A grant is when, let's say, a company, a government, an organization sets aside funds just to give them to someone. I kind of think of it as an adult scholarship. So let's say you're an artist in Kansas. You're an artist in California. You're a writer or filmmaker in New York. They tend to be very specific. Like, hey, you write fiction, it's under 3,000 words, apply for this grant. We will give you $1,000. I've seen grants for like $25,000 since I joined this newsletter. It really depends. It runs the gamut. But what I want you to know is, which I did not know even a month ago, is that if there's something that you're into, that you're creating, it could be a small business, it could be a company, a startup, a beauty product, there's probably a grant out there for you. And this newsletter is great because they have 100 grants per newsletter, and then per month, and then they keep adding to it. So let's say the July newsletter came out early July. Today I got an email. I'm recording this on Tuesday, July, what is today? Tuesday, July 9th. Today I got an email like, hey, here's 6 new grants. Now, I don't qualify for a variety of reasons. For example, I'm not a filmmaker, so I don't apply to those grants, but I've applied to 2 grants so far. One specifically was for podcasters and one was not. So, out of 100, that's 2 more grants than I would have ever applied for if I didn't hear about this newsletter. And again, if you don't want to subscribe to this newsletter, there is a free version. The free version does list grants, but it's not 100 grants. You're going to get 100 grants if you upgrade, if you choose, to the paid version. You can, of course, go and Google or use ChatGPT or some other search engine to find grants in your specific area. What I want you to get from this is, number one, if you were like me less than a month ago and you didn't know what you didn't know you could get a grant or apply for a grant for what you do. Now you know. Number two, now you also know there's a newsletter called Grants for Creators that literally just lists grants, 100 per month, at least 100 per month. And number three, now that you know these 2 things, you can go forth and Google it yourself, do your own research, or maybe even ask around in your community. Some of these grants are very, very specific to a community or a region, or maybe it has something to do, like one that stood out to me was a grant for Caribbean, I always mix this word up, descendants, which is me. My family's from Jamaica. So I was like, oh, cool, here's something that I'm eligible for. So something to think of, something to consider, not think of. Next up, I have for you a private podcast that I signed up for, I think it was last year, and it's from May K. Sang. I've mentioned May K. Sang on this podcast before, and you will hear her name again. She's one of the folks who I've purchased quite a few things from now in terms of products and services. products and one event, one digital event she had earlier this year, 2024. So this one is called Inside the Invite. It is her private podcast where it's just dedicated to help you demystify the process of getting invited onto podcasts and beyond as a guest expert without needing to pitch yourself. So season 2 just came out today. I'm going to see if I can get this in front of me. You may hear some clicking in the background. Okay, so she has a pretty great lineup. I'm looking here, folks like Stacey Coyle, Megan Meganson, Elizabeth Goddard, Betty Muse. You may or may not know some of these names. And again, the focus is all about how to get invited, this time to summits or submit standout speaker applications. So if you're at the point where you're thinking about how you can engage with more folks, meet more folks, teach more folks, meet more folks. Inside the Invite, season 1 is about how to get on podcasts without pitching, and where season 2 focuses on summits. And if you're like me, you attend a lot of webinars and summits and online digital events. But what if you were one of the panelists? What if you were an instructor? What would that look like? Just consider it. Even if you're thinking, I don't want to be on a summit. Why not listen in? Why not consider it? I really enjoyed season 1, and I'm excited to delve into season 2. I think I just have one more thing for you, and it's from YouTube, one more resource. So on YouTube, I am loving what I'm seeing lately on what I call YouTube University, and that's very encouraging videos. I'm going to put 2 examples. I like to call them like how-to videos, but I'm going to put 2 examples in the show notes, and I invite you to go to YouTube and just type in how YouTube changed my life, and you'll see all these video pop-ups. The 2 that I watch are called How YouTube Changed My Life with Less Than 500 Subscribers, something like that. So if you're someone like me who I'll be honest, of course I'm being honest, but I sometimes feel like I'm toiling in obscurity, what my twin brother likes to call killing it in obscurity, which is, I think Dave Chappelle said that to Bill Burr. I feel like, yeah, I think that was it. So if you feel like you're doing all of the things, but you don't have a huge email list, you don't have a lot of followers or subscribers, these 2 videos are for you, and you're going to find a bunch of them on YouTube. Like, it's an embarrassment of riches. I find them really inspiring and motivational for 2 reasons. Here's someone who does not have, or did not have at the time they recorded the video, 500 subscribers. You know what? These 2 videos, I don't even think they had 200 subscribers when they made these videos. But what they highlighted is what they've learned from being YouTubers, from upskilling, learning new to them skills like editing or filming or digital marketing, and how they were able to apply those skills to other areas of their lives, or how they were able to be consistent. I'm conflating the 2 videos, so excuse me. They're 2 different people with 2 different stories, and I should give you their names. It will also be in the show notes. So the first video I watched was from Dora, D-O-R-A, and it's called How YouTube is Changing My Life with Less Than 500 Subscribers, Tips for Introverts. And the second video I watched is How YouTube Changed My Life with Less Than 500 Subscribers, My YouTube Journey, and that's from Camilla Ray. I want to leave you with one more video before I sign off for the day. And that is from, my friend sent me this a few weeks ago. It's from Erin Lodge, her YouTube channel. And I know I just mentioned editing, but what I loved about this video is that it says, don't let editing stop you from posting consistently to YouTube. That's from Erin Lodge, A-R-E-N. That is so true. So final thought of the day, this resource for you, please watch this video, or maybe just listen if you need to hear these words. If you are not starting your YouTube channel or your podcast or your blog or your vlog because you feel like you don't have the editing skills, don't edit. Don't do it. The important thing is to start and keep going. And in time, you can learn those skills. If you want, you can start to edit. Somebody somewhere is longing for you. They're longing to hear your story and hear your voice or see what you're doing today, what you're wearing, how you decorate your home, whatever your thing is. Many someone's out there. They may not write you, they may not tag you, they may not even like your video, but they need you. And they're waiting to hear from you. And you need it. The reason why you love the thing you love and you want to tell your story and you want to be a YouTuber or fill in the blank is you have this urge. You feel the need. I heard Nicole McLaren Campbell say once on one of her Instagram posts, and it stuck with me. If you feel like you are meant for more, it's because you are. Go get him, Tiger. Hey, thanks for listening to this episode of Jody Tried It. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe to my newsletter at joddie.substack.com. That's JODDIE.substack.com. And please share with a friend or three. Thanks for listening.